What's next for XRP? Coming off of a 200% rise in 2024, that's the big question. And this article from Forbes drops some pretty decent insight that you may want to be aware of, especially if you're in XRP, considering XRP, or wondering if it's too late. Because oftentimes when something makes a big run, people are thinking it's too late. I personally don't feel like it's nowhere near too late for XRP. And you just want to consider what's on the forefront so you can make a decision whether or not this is something you want to invest in. Me, I'm thinking long term. So hopefully your insight leads you to the right decision for you, whatever that may be. This is not financial advice. I'm just here to notify you of certain news that I see as soon as I see it in a way that possibly can benefit you and your decisions. But please do your own due diligence. That being said, it says the price of Ripple's cryptocurrency XRP has surged almost 5x from levels of 52 cents November 2024 to $2.46. Now, shout out to everybody who was able to get in. I know I had my average cost down at the 50-cent mark as well before they relisted on Coinbase. So it created a huge opportunity, despite what many people may think of the fact that it was suppressed and they had to go through all of these lawsuits. For many people, it allowed them to have a decent time frame to get in at a decent price. And if you're like me, you're probably thinking, damn, I should have put in way more. Because that's exactly what I've been thinking. Anyway, XRP has now become the world's third largest cryptocurrency with a market capitalization of around 141 billion after Bitcoin and Ethereum, thanks to its recent rally. The surge in XRP was better than some of the other cryptocurrencies, which trended higher after Trump won U.S. president election amid hopes of a friendly approach toward digital currencies. Because, Trump and his cabinet is more pro-crypto, so it's really important to really pay attention to what's going on. I know if you're in the crypto world, you might feel like you're late, but in our actuality, it's so much of the world who has not even been exposed to the small things, that even the things that may be over our heads or over your head, it's still you're still so much further ahead of people who's not even paying attention, to the point where when things happen, they're not even gonna know what's going on in the background. But it's going to all be stemming from the blockchain and crypto. So the outperformance of XRP can be attributed to the positive developments around its legal battles. Our previous note on XRP up 300% in a month. XRP is just getting warmed up. So if you're thinking you're too late, Forbes is saying you're just getting warmed up. But what's next that could drive XRP higher? Ripple has already launched the RLUSD stablecoin, which is fully backed by cash in the form of USD, government treasury securities, and other cash equivalents. Leaving the broader rally in cryptocurrencies aside, there are a few factors that may trigger the growth of XRP. So firstly, there's a good chance that the Ripple's ETF may get an approval this year. And I know y'all may remember, if not, Bitcoin got approved for ETF and it shot their prices up soaring. More on that later. And that could drive a meaningful rally for XRP as well. In fact, the data of the poly market suggests that there's a 70% chance of ETF approval for Ripple this year. The SEC is currently reviewing 4 applications for XRP ETFs from 21 shares, Bitwise, Canary Capital, and Wisdom Tree. So it's multiple people trying to get approved for that ETF. So may the best entity win, and whoever wins, XRP has a trickle benefit, because what it does is allow those who don't mind investing directly in the XRP to benefit and win by having direct ownership of XRP. Meanwhile, the people who want to go through some type of company or some type of ETF because it's safer, or certain companies that can't invest in crypto, they can now flood into the ETF and still get exposure to XRP. Now the chances of approval have risen lately, with crypto-friendly face Paul Atkins heading the SEC under Trump administration. Notably, Bitcoin rallied around 60% in 2021 when the first ETF was approved. It rallied 2x in 2024, the year in which Bitcoin spot ETF was approved. Ethereum also saw its ETF approved last year, and the coin rallied 42%. If XRP were to win an approval for its ETF, it's likely that current rally would gain momentum. This can be attributed to multiple factors such as market legitimacy, access for institutional investors, and easy retail participation, among others. So pretty much what I was saying, when they get approved, then a lot of money will flow into it for multiple factors. Now, the difference with XRP is that it has a lot of technology and use cases that are quite different from Bitcoin that gives it a lot more exposure and recognition. And they've been setting up shop around the world in multiple other continents. Due to the fact that they were being suppressed in the US, they were still putting in work in other countries and getting set up. So it's a lot of other things that are working in the favor of XRP and its use cases and things that it can do that, may give it a chance to rally much higher than Ethereum as well as Bitcoin. Just my personal, thought process on that. So separately, look at what's in store for the Boeing stock. I'll disregard that. Going beyond ETF, let us look at what Ripple does. Ripple is a digital payment network that uses its cryptocurrency, XRP, to facilitate fast and low-cost international money transfers. XRP will see a rise in price if the core business were to improve. The question is how. With this fight against the SEC, Ripple has clearly won the key point that it's not a security, while XRP could see another rally if the SEC were to dismiss its case against Ripple. So it's showing that it's not a security under certain circumstances. I did a video where I talked about how under certain circumstances it's a security, but under other circumstances it's more of a commodity and something that you can invest in. So it just depends on, what perspective is being viewed at that time. But it can see another rally if that case was to get dismissed, because in many people's eyes it was wrongfully placed there anyway, and it gave other currencies the ability to stay dominant. But I think that time is winding down, because even with all of the kickback that they received, they still managed to end up being the top, and always in the top 10 cryptos, but now top 3. So even otherwise, a settlement that doesn't hurt Ripple much would be seen as positive. More importantly, it's likely that Ripple will find its new partners and see an increase in adoption of its payment network. This growth in core business will likely be an important driver for XRP's growth going forward. It is well known that cryptocurrencies are high-risk assets, and even they sometimes fail to outperform the stock markets. Listen, that verbiage alone lets you know that crypto is on their neck. And I know a lot of people are committed to the stock market, and it definitely has its consistencies. I'm not saying it doesn't. And I feel like you should do both. You should invest in crypto. You should invest in the stock. However, in such a short amount of time, crypto has done what many things that attempted to do in similar fashion has not been able to do. It's been other times where money was contested, but it didn't work out. So this is one of those things where it has definitely applied pressures. Whole networks and economies have been created because of the blockchain, and it's not going anywhere, period. So if a person thinks, it's going to zero, look at all of the stuff that's being built around it, all of the platforms, all the investment, all the protocols, all of the agreements and smart contracts. Look at the whole industry and world of tokenization, all of the things that's being built around it. And that'll let you know that it's not going anywhere. So regardless of how you feel, this is not an emotional decision. This is just looking at the data, looking at the facts. You just have to get in a position to where you can benefit from the fact that it's happening in some way, shape, form, fashion, and get educated. Because if you don't, you'll end up being like the children or adults that look, or your children may look back and say, during that time when all of this was happening, these changes were being made, what were you doing? And you can either say, I was learning, I was figuring it out myself, or they have to deal with the fact that you don't know and you can't teach them, so they have to learn for themselves. I'm all about you positioning yourself to learn and be ahead of where, things are going, so that way you can be an asset to those who you're connected to, whether it be your children, whether it be your family, spouse, whomever, and of course yourself. So that being said, returns for XRP were, hold on, where did I leave out? And even sometimes fail to outperform. That statement, when they say, my bad. So even when they say that sometimes they fail to outperform the stock markets, that statement alone holds weight, because at one point crypto was just a fad. Now they're saying even they sometimes fail to outperform the stock market. That sentence is really saying, but most of the time they beat the stock market ass. That's really what it's saying. And most of the time they do outperform the stock market. That's really what they're saying. So pay close attention to the verbiage. And this is coming from Forbes. Just a little FYI. For instance, XRP's return haven't been consistent in recent years. Returns for XRP were 278 in 21. And then negative 59 in 22, 81% in 23, 233% in 2024. In comparison, returns for the S&P 500 has been 2,700. Now, I don't feel that it's right for them to compare to the S&P 500 because XRP would just be like comparing it to one company, one stock. And I got to give credit to Wall Street Trapper. He broke that down and made that make sense. When he was talking about how people are comparing Bitcoin to the whole stock market. Well, you can't do it like that. However, what you can do is compare apples to apples and say, okay, if XRP has performed this well by itself, then this is the difference. With cryptocurrency, you have the ability to utilize it in different ways. Yeah, you can hold it, but you can also distribute it. You can also, in some cases, depending on the currency, you can stake it, let it earn interest. You can maneuver it in a way that allows you to put it in different wallets and, store it in certain ways that you cannot do with a stock. When you buy the stock, that stock lives on that brokerage account, period, point blank. It ain't like you can transfer the stock. You got to turn it into fiat to even do anything with it. It in of itself is not able to be maneuvered and leveraged in so many different ways. Yeah, you can, in many cases do certain things like cash out on your profits. But now we're moving into a world where people are borrowing against their assets. The stock has limitations on what you can do. I'll just say that. So I feel that this definitely is something that futuristically people who were so attached to the stock market might realize what they were overlooking about the way that this particular product or this investment, vehicle operates and the leverage and liberty and freedom that comes along with it. So just wanted to give you this article just so you can get an understanding of what's going on and ask yourself, what do you think is next for XRP? It's a lot of things that are coming that I feel didn't even get touched, like tokenization in this article, but there's some things coming down the forefront that could very well be the thing that pushes it to that next level. That's all I got for this video. If you haven't already, definitely grab the video link where I show you how you can get more cash to buy more crypto, especially if you work a job. Most people are leaving money on the table, and that money that's on the table could be going towards you buy more crypto if you just use it strategically. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute.